Today we will show you the power that cannot be contained within screens or roads. These rugged and masculine unconventional cars attract attention as soon as they come into view. Many desire such cars, but only a few possess them. Today we will show you the most brutal machines for real men. Buckle up and let's go! We have made an effort to find rare specimens that were crafted by the finest custom workshops to demonstrate that DIY projects are not always crude and funny. But first let's talk about DIY creations. As you know, they can take various forms, from Mercedes made of bricks, which are more expensive than the original, to cars made from aluminum cans, and even a nail-studded Mini Cooper. But we have already covered the ridiculous ones in our previous videos. It's time for the tough and daring ones. These cars won't be afraid even if a zombie apocalypse happens tomorrow. Spikes, pipes, imposing wheels. Just one look tells you that it's better not to get in the way of these beasts. Sometimes cars are transformed into true monsters with fangs. From the photos alone, it's evident that these predatory monsters were created with love. With individual cases, everything is clear. Unique works always attract attention. But what if we tell you about communities of people who dedicate themselves to car modifications to achieve a specific style, for example? In the USA, there is a whole movement of people willing to pay any amount to get a hot rod. Although the term itself refers more to the modification of a car for speed rather than a specific model, a common style can be seen among them. During the era of Prohibition, the first cars were modified by bootleggers to transport alcohol and hide their earnings from the tax authorities. By the 1930s, the first hot rods were participating in races organized on the dry lake bed near Los Angeles. They often used old Ford models from 1910 to 1934, replaced the engine with a more powerful one, and frequently lightened the body by removing the convertible top, hood, bumpers, windshields, and even fenders. They did everything they could to change the shape of the body. And they didn't stop there. They also replaced the wheels. After all, if you want to accelerate a car, you need to ensure a quality grip with the road. In the years after World War II, hot rodders often used Ford wire spoke wheels from the 1930s. Through ups and downs, hot rods have made their way to our present day, leaving a noticeable mark on pop culture. Books, festivals, and even a whole music genre have emerged thanks to these stylish cars. It's all thanks to people who always wanted to be faster, higher, stronger. This is reflected in the vibrant design of hot rods. And I'm sure you've seen the popular flame decals on their bodies more than once. Speaking of another car that was created to break speed records but in unfamiliar conditions to us, what can be more daring than going against the grain, going where no one has been before, overcoming the impossible? That's what the blogger from St. Petersburg Konstantin Zarutsky decided to do when he fitted a luxurious Bentley Continental with tracks. And he even made it into the Russian Book of Records as the fastest tracked vehicle, reaching a speed of 125 km per hour with a 400 horsepower engine. By the way, this is not Zarutsky's only Ultratank. In 2021, he also converted a Pobeda car into a tracked vehicle. And it truly looks like a real tank, capable of not only traversing rough terrain in a heavy snowstorm, but also smashing through walls. Although it didn't quite reach the wall, as during one of the test drives on the ice, the Pobeda sank underwater. A whole team with divers and a tow truck had to be deployed to rescue it, but it took 36 hours to finally retrieve the car. The prolonged underwater exposure didn't go unnoticed and the vehicle suffered significant damage, but Konstantin didn't give up and intends to restore it. And since we've started talking about tanks, no, we have a separate video about tanks. But we can wrap up with amateur modifications and finally talk about tuning professionals. For example, if you love crossovers, even at Hammond they managed to make them more powerful and interesting. What's brutality without charisma, right? For the BMW X6, Hammond offers a new wide body kit with sculpted wheel arches, a carbon fiber engine hood, 23-inch wheels, and a special exhaust system. Speaking of which, the sound of the exhaust system in this BMW modification can be adjusted through a dedicated smartphone app. Oh, these modern technologies. But let's talk about speed. While the standard X6 accelerates to 100 km per hour in 5.2 seconds, the Hammond version does it in 4.1 seconds, making it one of the fastest crossovers in the world. And we don't even need to mention its enhanced, dare we say, powerful design. And Hammond is not the only one who has paid attention to BMW crossovers. In general, many tuning workshops have ignored their existence for a long time, considering them less prestigious. However, the official partner of BMW in modifications is the company Alpina. It was a challenging journey. At first, Alpina simply ignored the presence of crossovers in BMW's car lineup. Then, in 2013, the company gave in and made changes to the BMW X3. They noted that modifications to the X5 or X6 were not worth it, as they weren't as interesting. But in 2020, the information space was filled with enthusiasm and ovations for Alpina's improvements to the BMW X7. Despite their initial indifference to practical crossovers, Alpina specialists did everything to add power to this already premium vehicle. While the X7 originally accelerates to 100 km per hour in 4.7 seconds, the upgraded version does it in 4.2 seconds. It may seem like just 0.5 seconds, but in the world of urban cars it makes a serious difference. Alpina installed larger turbochargers, increased the boost pressure, and optimized the cooling system. And that's not all. They made the bumper more robust, automatically making the car more imposing. Now it's time to move on to truly brutal machines. And that means we must start with the modification of the Mercedes-AMG G63 by Mansory. This Mercedes itself is already cool, powerful and masculine. Its distinct lines and powerful engines speak for themselves. But Mansory set out to make this model worthy of a superhero. They changed many parts of the body to carbon fiber components, installed a rear spoiler, not just for looks but to improve the aerodynamics of this angular car, and made it 4 cm wider. Overall, the Mansory-tuned Mercedes looks more pumped up, like that friend who changed their diet, started going to the gym, and after a few months you can still recognize them, but they have become broader and more sculpted. They added headlights to make the car more dazzling and upgraded the exhaust system. Of course, it wouldn't be complete without power enhancements, which allowed the Mansory-tuned Mercedes to accelerate from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 3 seconds, 1 second faster than the standard version. Its top speed exceeds the standard model by 10 km per hour, reaching 250. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. Yes, Mansory made the car yellow, very bright yellow, because it is designed for confident men ready to make a statement on the road. And since we've started talking about Mercedes, there's an agency that has gained fame for their Mercedes modifications. Not just that, Brabus is registered in Germany as an independent automobile manufacturer and allows themselves to replace the Mercedes logo with their own on all modified models, and there have been quite a few of them. At Brabus, they modify everything from crossovers to minibuses, making them luxurious and comfortable. They have even worked on modifications for the Dubai police. But there is one project in their portfolio that deserves to be featured in our video of powerful and brutal cars: the Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG 6x6. This beast of a pickup truck roars so loudly that windows shake in nearby houses. And Brabus made this G-Wagon even more powerful, accelerating it from 0 to 100 km per hour in 4.1 seconds. The original version achieves this in 5.8 seconds. Brabus pumped up the G-Wagon both in terms of performance and style, incorporating red carbon fiber elements in the red interior that perfectly complements the overall black design. It's not for the faint-hearted, so to speak. In the next car, a tuning workshop called Hennessey focused less on exterior changes and more on improving the technical specifications. The story is quite interesting. In 2017, Dodge released the highly acclaimed muscle car, the Challenger SRT Demon. And yes, the Demon also deserves a spot in this video because in fact, it's a racing car that made its way to the mass market. Its engine power and speed capabilities generated admiration and envy. This prompted Hennessey to compete with Dodge and banish the Demon. They created the Exorcist, a modified version of the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. As we mentioned, Hennessey concentrated on increasing power, with their specialists working on the engine and customizing the camshaft for the Exorcist. Let's be honest, what really matters is the rivalry. The Demon accelerates to 100 km per hour in 2.3 seconds and leaves all competitors in its dust. However, the Exorcist didn't quite reach those speeds, taking 3 seconds to reach the same mark, which still had its advantages. While the Demon was prohibited from participating in drag racing due to being too fast and requiring a professional racing license, the Exorcist faces no such restrictions and can compete in races under the auspices of the NHAR. You can decide the winner for yourself. But the story doesn't end there, as a new player enters the scene: SpeedKore Performance. They took the Challenger SRT Demon and accomplished what Hennessey couldn't, truly accelerating the car. They made the body 100% carbon fiber and added twin turbochargers to the V8 6.2-liter engine. But we're sure those numbers don't interest you as much because speed is a measure of power. Indeed, the Demon became even more brutal, and while the base model covered a quarter mile in 9.65 seconds, the SpeedKore version achieves it in 8.77 seconds. That's quite a race. In general, SpeedKore is known for their design modifications. They have never hesitated to completely revamp a vehicle's body simply because it's more efficient for improving its speed characteristics, and of course because they do it stylishly. This was the case with the 1970 Dodge Charger, which they named Tantrum. Tantrum is a reinterpretation of the original car's body. Few people would recognize this version of the Dodge Charger from the front, except for the distinctive, albeit 2014 taillights at the back. The body is predominantly made of carbon fiber, complemented by stunning 19-inch wheels at the front and 20-inch wheels at the rear. It features an engine from a speedboat that produces 1,650 horsepower. All this power coexists with a luxurious interior featuring leather, suede and carbon fiber. And if you think such an elegant car can be brutal, tell that to Vin Diesel. After all, Tantrum was a gift for his 52nd birthday. Even Iron Man requests modifications. While Tony Stark's computer screen displays a photo of a hot rod with flames covering the entire body, Robert Downey Jr. ordered a customization from SpeedKore, a gift for his friend Chris Evans, a modified Chevrolet Camaro and a Ford Mustang 302 Boss for himself. It seems the wizards at this tuning workshop know how to upgrade a car to make it worthy of a superhero. And now we'll touch upon the classic side of tuning, the brutal, merciless classics. If hot rods are primarily aimed at speed, increasing engine power and participating in races, there is a community of people who prefer something different. For example, they seek destructive power and modify their cars to meet a single standard of beauty. That standard is called Bigfoot. If you've ever watched the movie The Pacifier, you'll surely remember the 1984 Dodge Ram 4x4 that the main characters used for transportation. Big, noisy and sporty. The nannies needed a car that reflected the characters' personalities, and to be fair, the Dodge on the sales floor looked different. Take a look for yourself. The factory Dodge. The Dodge that the main characters of the family comedy The Pacifier cruised in. That's right, it's all about the wheels. Specifically for the movie, Dodge modified the vehicle, raised the body, added a lift kit, and voila! The dream of all Bigfoot enthusiasts appeared on your screens, and those enthusiasts already existed. The movie's creators didn't come up with the idea out of thin air. The history of Bigfoot's emergence is mostly associated with one person. The first Bigfoot was created in 1975 by Bob Chandler, and after 4 years of extensive modifications to a Ford F-250, Bob's homemade project finally took shape as a monster truck. Interest in Bigfoot grew and many people wanted a similar machine, which led to increased sales of wheels for trucks and tractor-trailers. Promoters couldn't ignore this trend, and following Bob's example, they started ordering 1 or 2 regular cars for their events, allowing spectators to witness how Bigfoot demolished them. This eventually led to the organization of entire destruction competitions. Bigfoot enthusiasts are down-to-earth people who believe that the bigger the wheels, the better, and they often spend a lot of time searching for oversized wheels, really very big wheels. Why not? You drive without anyone bothering you in your line of sight. You go wherever you want, not just where the road leads. Well, except we suggest refraining from driving over other people's cars and avoiding trouble. Otherwise, the possibilities are endless. In total, Bob created over 20 versions of this Bigfoot and put production into full swing so that enthusiasts could buy not imitations but the original Bigfoot. However, not all enthusiasts of powerful cars and huge wheels require Bob's work. For example, there's a Bigfoot in Nizhny Novgorod based on a VAZ 2108. It has tractor wheels, a transmission from a GAZ-66 truck, and voila! It's a traditional Bigfoot. It roams through the forests of Murom, whether there are roads there or not. We hope you appreciate the uniqueness of today's car list and the wide range of solutions made by tuning specialists to unveil the brutality of each car. And now we're off to prepare a new video for you. Until next time.